We're getting all our swarm traps ready. Today's May 1st. Usually we have everything hung this year, but this year it's been very cold and it's only gonna get up to about 49 today. So we don't have to worry about them swarming. They won't swarm when it's cold like this, but they probably will swarm the first warm day in May. So I'm expecting a swarm probably in about 3 days. So I think that's our first 65-degree day. So we're going to have all these hung. We're going to hang them today. And what's inside, I just wanted to walk you through how we do it. Is we have a 1-inch hole, we have a disc entrance. So once the bees pick this trap, we'll see pollen coming in. We'll just simply turn the disc and they're trapped inside. Now the bottoms, they all have either 1/2 inch or luan. Something's on the bottom, so we don't have to worry about a bottom board or anything like that. Now it's really important to make sure your disc is open when you leave your trap. But you'll notice some traps, they have different bottoms. I mean, we have all sorts of different bottoms. This one is 3/4, this one's 1/2 inch OSB, and then we have a piece of luan that we're going to use. I'll show you actually how we do it. What I would do is I would go 16.5 by 20. Better to have too much than not enough. And that's what this one's cut at. So then what I do is I take a staple gun, and it doesn't take much. Oops, I missed. Because you don't want the bees to be flying out when you're trying to transport them. So, but I just wouldn't go crazy because, you know, again, you're gonna have to take all this off. So, as you can see, we had frames ready to go. Let's see if I can get this. So we have frames ready to go, and 90%, what we put in these, so we'll take one frame of drawn out comb and we'll put it in the middle. So what I like to do is I like to wear an apron, because when we're working with this stuff, it gets really dirty. You're picking things up, you're carrying them. By the time you're done, you'll look at your shirt or your hoodie. It's cold today, that's why I'm wearing a hoodie. And it's just covered in wax. That's really hard to get out. I know a lot of beekeepers, they like to use their hands. I personally don't, because what happens is the wax and the honey gets on your hands, then it gets on everything else. My camera, for example, is covered in propolis, wax, and it's just, I mean, it's caked there. It's not coming off, and it's a $1,000 camera. So, I mean, it'll get in your truck, it'll get everywhere. So that's why I like to wear some nice thick gloves, and I'll even beekeep with these as I'm working the hives and stuff. So, and if you get stung, it's kind of like maybe a 20% sting. It's not a full sting because the venom barely gets through these gloves. So, which is nice because then it goes away pretty quick. So, but what I like to do is I'll use either a frame of drawn out comb, or I like to get a really dark comb. That comb that you're going to probably throw out anyway, those are terrific for catching swarms. It really draws them in just like a lure. And speaking of lures, we have our Swarm Commander. You can also use lemongrass essential oil. Swarm Commander though, I mean, you buy one bottle of this stuff, it's gonna last you several years. We put out a dozen plus traps every year, and just a couple sprays every couple of weeks. I mean, it just lasts forever. I think they're like 30 bucks for a bottle, but I'll link it down below. So let's go and try to find some dark comb and maybe some frames of honey. Here's one. So this is what we're talking about. Frames like this. This is excellent. This is the kind of stuff we want to put in our hives. If you don't have frames with drawn out comb and you're trying to catch bees, yeah, you can put Swarm Commander. That's okay, they'll just repair that. you can put essential oil in there, or you can get some wax. Buy some honey wax on Amazon or wherever you can get it, and take your frames with new foundation and rub wax all over it. It's gonna smell like bees. It's gonna draw them in. The scouts are gonna be out looking for places, and that's gonna help them, because when they go back and they do their bee dance, they're not only gonna say how big it is, how far away it is, they'll also talk about or communicate the resources that it has. And if it has a good starting point, it's amazing how they can communicate. So I have 4 traps ready to go. I'm about to go deliver them. And so studies have shown that when a number of bees, a majority of bees, when they enter a swarm trap, they turn to the right. It's a very interesting study. It's worth a Google. So what I do is I usually take the drawn comb and I put it the first frame to the right of the entrance. Now, I wasn't able to find any honey. All the honey has been robbed out this spring, but that's okay. So I'll just take these dark frames of comb and I'll put them in. Like I said, they're all in the same position, right to the right of the entrance. And I also put in 1 extra frame of a little bit kind of like half drawn out comb. You can kind of see that. One side's blank, the other side has just a little bit of wax. If you can see that, that's the difference. That's a great way to recycle your old boxes. Turn them into swarm traps. So, and lastly, what we'll need is we'll need 4 tops. So I went out and found some boxes that were pretty heavy, that were built out of 3/4. And this is 1 property. So our stands are already there. So luckily we don't have to load them up. And then I got a bucket with drill, screws, ratchet straps, and swarm commander. I went ahead and hung the first swarm trap, and I forgot to turn the camera on. So I went and got the camera, and I wanted to tell you what we did. You know, these trees that stick out when they're in the middle of an area, those are terrific. You know, trees that are in the middle of a field, fence posts. If you want to hang your trap in the middle of the fence, where bees are really able to mark them easily, they go back and they do their dance, and they describe several different things. They describe the resources that are in the hive, the entrance, the disease. Is it safe from predators? What's the size of it? They're looking for approximately 40 liters, which is about the size of a 10-frame Langstroth, which is right around 40 to 43 liters. So these traps are ideal. That's why I always use 10-frame. Well, I can't say always, because sometimes I do use 5-frame nukes, but if I have 10-frame boxes available, I'll use them because that's what scouts are looking for. Now, in the past, I used to put honey in the frames. I don't really stress out about not having honey in the frame anymore because, you know, although it does attract attention, you know, the bees can smell it, but it kind of attracts the wrong attention. And I understand why some folks would choose not to use honey. It's because, you know, swarms, if it's attracting the wrong kind of attention, say ants, or just a feeding frenzy from hornets and wasps and things like that, you know, that's going to be a deterrent for these scouts, you know, because it's all about safety. They want a nice, calm space that they can defend, that's safe, disease-free. So that's why, and that's another reason why you wouldn't put honey in there, because there's a chance of European foul brood, American foul brood. So just wanted to share that information because I talked about looking for a frame of honey, but you know, I wasn't really that upset when I couldn't find frames of honey, because the most important thing is dark frames. They're just absolutely perfect for attracting a swarm. So we have what we need. We have 1 to 2 frames of drawn out comb in these frames. And again, we positioned right about here, right to the right of the entrance. And then we just sprayed With Swarm Commander, we sprayed 2 sprays in the entrance. You can also spray the top inside the hive, but I just forgot. So I propped it up with a stick back here, and I sunk a screw through the bottoms, and I put a ratchet strap on to keep it, because it was kind of windy, and you know, I could actually see the wind getting up underneath this and flipping it over. So just to be sure, I don't have to worry about it. I can come back, and what's really nice is my son can see this from the back of his house. This backs up to his back slider kitchen window, and he can look out the window and tell me when this is attracted a swarm. So pretty neat. But let's move on to the next one. So I just wanted to share, you know, this is a destination for a new apiary. It's very simple setup, some landscape fabric, 2 4x4s, and 4 cinder blocks. It's very inexpensive. You know, you can use timbers, but the timbers are going to bow a little bit. These 4x4s are really tough. They're going to last much longer. These are treated 4x4s. And it's just a really simple setup. We came out here in March before the grass got green and started growing. I got birds all over me. And it was able to prevent the growth underneath it. And so now it's nice and flattened out. We put a couple, this is what we use for our swarm trap stands. It's just some 5-quarter deck board, a 2x2, and just a 2x4 or 2x3 underneath it. So got a worm right there. But that's it. There's nothing really to it. You can build a bunch of these for a very low price, but I just wanted to share that real quick. I carried this all the way over on my head. Much easier than carrying it with your arms. Whew. Okay. All right. 1 spray in the hive. Now, this is a pretty deep top, so I'm not going to put a ratchet strap over it because it's not going to blow off because it's so deep. I always step back and I try to straighten it out. This one looks good because it looks like it's leaning forward already a little bit. That looks pretty good. Really didn't grab onto it. You want to make sure that they really grab on, because if they don't, you could come back to a hive on the ground. I have had that happen. Forgot to spray the inside of the top, so I put 3 sprays in there. But I mean, it's so strong. Just walking up here, you can smell it. So here's swarm trap number 4 that we hung today. This is a classic. This one has caught countless swarms, And it's also our tree stand that we shoot deer out of. It's a double threat tree. This is swarm trap number 5, and you can actually see swarm trap number 4 in the picture. This is swarm trap number 6. It is hung in a willow tree, weeping willow tree. Swarm trap number 7. So this is the final swarm trap that we're going to hang for the day. It's getting dark, and you know, today was kind of a cloudy day. It was supposed to be partly cloudy, and you know, it's cold. So first day of May, our swarm traps are ready. We're going to hang several more, but you know what? We're going to be ready for swarm season. May, June, even into July, we're going to catch several swarms. We know we're going to catch them because we're going to come out here every week. We're going to bait these swarm traps, and we're going to lure them with our swarm commander. Every week you want to spray the entrance a couple times. And I wish you guys the best of luck, and I hope you guys catch some swarms. Be sure to reach out if you do. Let me know. Congrats to you if you do. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.